What's going on, Genius Nation? Welcome to a brand new day, a brand new Monday, a Monday that you have never seen before, a Monday that you will never see again. Hope that you're ready to take full advantage of it. Wherever you are in the world, I hope your day is starting off wonderful. This is the Daily Genius, and I am Dr. Will. And as always, super excited that you are here joining us, whether you are joining us live or whether you are watching the replay. I'm always appreciative that you are here. For those of you that are watching this outside of our private Facebook group, when I refer to Genius Nation, that's who I'm talking to. Over 1,000 individuals that are committed to becoming a better version of themselves and creating a life that they love. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, where you can get tips, tools, strategies to assist you in becoming a better person and a better version of yourself and creating the life that you love, there's a link in the description. Genius Nation, join our growing family of committed individuals. We would love to have you join us. All right, if you've been following us any amount of time, this is episode number 123 days of showing up. Out of 365 days, I'm going to be doing a daily video just like this. And this is episode 123 or day 123, over 100 consistent days of showing up. And on Mondays, we do book review Monday, and I'm just sharing some books with you that have been very beneficial to me, that have been very profitable for me, that have helped me shape my mind, my thinking, my actions, and my habits. And today, I have a book called Loving What Is by Byron Katie. Loving What Is. Byron Katie, if you're not familiar with her work, she is one of the most profound personal development coaches in our industry. And she developed a framework that she calls the work, or doing the work. But the work that she's talking about is doing the work on yourself, doing the work on yourself. And it really helps you to put things in proper perspective. And this book is an excellent book. If you've ever had a situation where you've had a tough situation with an individual or a family member or a spouse or a child, and sometimes those relationships can get kind of muddy, they can get kind of distorted. When I read this book, Byron Katie really helped me do the work of seeing it from another person's perspective. And when you see it from another person's perspective, it's not giving them it's not giving them a get out of jail free card. It's not saying that what they did wasn't wrong or you were wrong, but it helps you to understand. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you a personal example of mine. So I wasn't raised with my father. I knew my father. I would see him off and on from time to time in my life, but he wasn't a consistent presence in my life. And then by the time I was 22, my father died. And so we create these narratives, right? We create these narratives about these relationships. And many times these narratives are driven by our personal expectations. And our personal expectations rarely take into consideration the other person. So, for instance, once again, this is my father. So anytime you give a person a title, there's expectations that come with that title, right? You know that, like whatever title you give a person, whether you give teacher, police officer, fireman, pastor, doctor, there's certain expectations, right? you have a different expectation of a teacher than you have of a construction worker, right? There's just some expectations, like just, if you heard in the news, and this is why it really never makes the news, right? You've never heard in the news, construction worker molests a child, right? You rarely hear that in the news. But if a teacher did it, you would hear it in the news, because there's a certain expectation of a teacher. You're like, oh my God, they're a teacher, they shouldn't be doing that, right? So titles come with these expectations. So the same things happen in our relationships. Boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, mother, father, sister, brother. These labels come with expectation. That's my brother. I wouldn't expect my brother to do that. I wouldn't expect my sister, my mom, my dad to do that. So in my situation, we create these narratives around these titles. And these expectations never take into account, once again, the other individual. We just expect, if you're my father, I expect you to do this. If you're my father, I expect this from you. If you're my father, I want this from you. And so what the work does with Byron Katie, she helps you more so to go into the perspective of the other person. And so if we took this title away of father, of dad, from this individual, and we just looked at this individual as a person, not as this title, but as a person, and you start to then look at their actions, from the perspective of not the title, not dad, you're my dad, you shouldn't do that, but from who they are as a person. What are their capabilities? See, a lot of times when we give people titles, the titles don't come with instructions, right? Being a mom, dad, brother, sister, it doesn't come with instructions. A person is a person based upon their experiences. A person is a person based upon how they see life, what they've went through in life. And especially with our parents, we don't take into account that they're people, that they have aspirations, that they have goals and dreams, and they have disappointments, and they've been disappointed, and they've went through some things. And so going through this book and doing the work, it allowed me to see my father in a whole different light. And because I was able to see him in a whole different light, my expectations of him change. And when my expectations of him change, I was able to, in my mind, and like I said, he's since died, but in my mind, it helped me to reprogram myself about how I felt about him being in my life, not being in my life. It helped me to see him as the individual he was. And so not just being my dad, but being a Black man growing up in America, his father not being in his life, it got me to understand some of the choices that he made, some of the demons maybe that he was dealing with. And so now I was able to not justify, his actions, but I was able to understand his actions a little bit more. And so I definitely, if you've had situations and relationships that were a little bit difficult to grasp or overcome, or they were painful, I highly recommend this book, Loving What Is. And you begin to look at everything for what it is, not what I want, but for what it is. And you appreciate it from that standpoint, for what it is, right? I was married for 10 years. I'm going to love that for what it is. I'm not going to look at it as this negative part of my life. I'm just going to love it for what it was, what it produced in that time. And I'm not going to put anything extra on it. I'm not going to take anything away from it. I'm going to love it for what it is. I'm going to love my childhood for what it is, right? And so it's a very, like I said, Byron Katie is an excellent, excellent, excellent read, loving what is. And so that's our book for this book review Monday. If you haven't read it, go out, get it, listen to it on Audible. It would be worth the investment. All right, guys, go out there and be your brilliant, amazing, genius selves. Make someone smile today as you make yourself smile. Go out there and dominate, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow for the Daily Genius.